From the rising of the sun to its going down, the Lord's name is to be praised. Let us open our hearts to his presence and listen for his voice in the stillness of this evening hour.
Our evening sacrifice, the desire of ages, chapter 38, Come Rest a While, May 13th. With all the angel choirs, with all the saints on earth, pour out the strains of joy and bliss, true rapture, noblest mirth. Rejoice, 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 give thanks and sing. This chapter is based on Matthew 14, verses 1, 2, 12, and 13, Mark 6, verse 30 to 32, and Luke 9, verse 7 to 10. Now Herod the tetrarch heard of all that was done by him, and he was perplexed, because that it was said of some that John was risen from the dead, and of some that Elias had appeared, and of others that one of the old prophets was risen again. And Herod said, John have I beheaded, but who is this of whom I hear such things? And he desired to see him. Luke 9, verse 7 to 9. With saddened hearts, the disciples of John had borne his mutilated body to its burial. Then they went and told Jesus. These disciples had been envious of Christ when he seemed to be drawing the people away from John. They had sided with the Pharisees in accusing him when he sat with the publicans at Matthew's feast. They had doubted his divine mission because he did not set the Baptists at liberty. But now that their teacher was dead, and they longed for consolation in their great sorrow and for guidance as to their future work, they came to Jesus and united their interest with his. They too needed a season of quiet for communion with the Saviour. Near Bethsaida, at the northern end of the lake, was a lonely region, now beautiful with the fresh green of spring, that offered a welcome retreat to Jesus and his disciples. For this place they set out, going in their boat across the water. Here they would be away from the thoroughfares of travel and the bustle and agitation of the city. The scenes of nature were in themselves a rest, a change grateful to the senses. Here they could listen to the words of Christ without hearing the angry interruptions, the retorts and accusations of the scribes and Pharisees. Here they could enjoy a short season of precious fellowship in the society of their Lord. The rest which Christ and his disciples took was not self-indulgent rest. The time they spent in retirement was not devoted to pleasure-seeking. They talked together regarding the work of God and the possibility of bringing greater efficiency to the work. The disciples had been with Christ and could understand him. To them he need not talk in parables. He corrected their errors and made plain to them the right way of approaching the people. He opened more fully to them the precious treasures of divine truth. They were vitalized by divine power and inspired with hope and courage. Though Jesus could work miracles and had empowered his disciples to work miracles, he directed his worn servants to go apart into the country and rest. When he said that the harvest was great and the laborers were few, he did not urge upon his disciples the necessity of ceaseless toil, but said, Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will not send forth laborers into his harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Matthew 9, verse 38. God has appointed to every man his work according to his ability. Ephesians 4 verse 11 to 13. And he would not have a few weighted with responsibilities, while others have no burden to travail of soul. This passage was taken from The Desire of Ages, page 361 to 362, Pacific Press Publishing Association, copyright 2005, or Evening Sacrifice, May 13th.
I encourage you to connect with God and receive strength to overcome obstacles each day. Thank you for listening. Please join us tomorrow as we offer up our evening sacrifice.